Okay, so for my article review today, I read the article, Is That Your Final Answer? Before, During, and After Reading Strategies. This article kind of talked about how reading strategies for students with independent practice and having them read on their own and answer questions on their own is ineffective, especially for struggling students. It gave a couple strategies that are with teacher help can help improve the reading of all students. So before reading, one of the things that they recommended was getting rid of distractions, even getting rid of the questions that they'll have to answer later, maybe, depending on the student. Just so that student can just have what they're reading right in front of them at that point in time. And that can help them when they're not seeing the questions, they're not thinking about how hard the questions are going to be or how many questions they're going to have to answer after they read. And then also as a class, before reading, going through the titles, the subtitles, the headings, and maybe like caption boxes that are underneath, and kind of getting an idea of what this is all about, what the main topic is, and taking time as a class to kind of say what they think the main idea is. And then during reading, whether this is together or separate, students are encouraged to make notes or make question marks near words or sentences they don't understand. And also, when they're reading on their own, underlining the main sentence or the main idea of that paragraph. So for each paragraph, they are underlining at least one sentence to show their main idea or what they think is the main idea of the paragraph. And then also finding and defining vocabulary on the spot using context clues. So a word that they don't understand or a vocab word that is already bold, they can take and try to define on their own based on context clues already in the article. And then after reading, if you're doing this as a class, you can debrief as a class. If you're doing this individually, you can maybe look at all the main ideas that you underlined and write your main idea structure sentence. And so like you write a sentence describing what the whole article is about based on the sentences that you had underlined from each paragraph. And also after reading, you'll take out your question sheet, and in your question sheet, you'll go through your question sheet and even take notes in that, circling the tasks in each question. So list, so you circle the list word, and define, so you circle define, so you understand what is expected of you in each question. And in the beginning, that'll be good to do as a class together, circling the things like, okay, here's what's expected of each question, and going through all of the questions before beginning to answer them. And also, in the questions, it's super important that students are encouraged and that they use the details from the text. So they not only have the main idea and the ability to summarize, but the ability to go back to the text and find where they got that answer. For me, I think these are really good strategies, especially for kids just learning how to like research and read, especially in nonfiction. I think it's really time consuming and will be a lot of hard work for the students, but is really worth it. I think that most teachers are trying to do this already and maybe not doing it in the best way possible, and I think that just takes time and learning and the right group of students. I would definitely use this in my classroom, especially an ESL classroom. Just because decoding and summarizing and vocab words and all of those things that we're pointing out while we read are so important to ESL students and figuring out what they need and what they are understanding from the passage. Comprehension is a big thing when it comes to learning English as a second language, because if you don't know what you're saying, you're not communicating with anybody, you're just saying words. And so in order to survive in a different culture or using a different language, you're going to have to know how to comprehend what you're reading and what other people are saying and even what you're saying. So these strategies will work really well in my classroom, and I think in classrooms all around the world. Okay, that's all.